Welcome to Journey Through the Gospels. Here we explore the stories of the Gospel through history, faith, and cinematic storytelling. The house was already full before many people even reached the doorway. Inside, men and women stood shoulder to shoulder, listening closely as Jesus taught. Outside, more people gathered in the street, trying to hear even a few words through the entrance. The room had become too small for the hunger that surrounded him. Jesus had returned to the town that had become a center of his work in Galilee. Mark identifies it as Capernaum, and the news of his presence spread quickly. People came because they had heard about his teaching and his healing. Some came with hope, some came with deep need. Others came to observe him carefully. Among those present that day were religious teachers and scribes. Luke says they had come not only from Galilee, but also from Judea and Jerusalem. Their presence added another kind of weight to the room. This was no longer only a village gathering around a beloved teacher. It had become a moment of watchful attention. Then another group arrived, but they could go no farther. 4 men were carrying a paralyzed friend on a mat. Every step through the village had been an act of effort and care. They had brought him all this way because they believed Jesus could help him. But when they reached the house, the entrance was blocked by the crowd. There was no easy path inside. The men could have stopped there. They could have said the room was too full, the moment was lost, and perhaps they should try again another day. But they did not turn back. Love gave them strength, and faith gave them persistence. In first-century Galilee, a house roof could often be reached from outside, so they carried the man upward. Above the packed room, under the open sky, they began making an opening in the roof above the place where Jesus was teaching. It was a bold act, but not a reckless one. It was the action of men who had decided that getting their friend to Jesus mattered more than preserving appearances. Below them, the people inside must have heard the sound before they understood it. Bits of roof material began to loosen. Dust drifted down into shafts of light. Faces lifted upward in confusion. The teaching stopped, and all attention turned to the opening above. Then the mat began to descend. Slowly, carefully, the paralyzed man was lowered into the middle of the room, directly before Jesus. The crowd that had blocked every path now became silent witnesses to what faith had done. The man could not walk to Jesus on his own, so others carried him into his presence. Jesus saw more than the interruption. He saw the faith that had brought the man there. He saw the effort, the trust, and the hope behind every difficult step. Then he spoke words that must have surprised almost everyone in the room. Instead of beginning with the visible injury, he said to the man, "Son," or "man," depending on the account, "your sins are forgiven." That sentence changed the entire atmosphere. The greatest question in the room was no longer whether Jesus could heal a body. It was whether he had the authority to forgive sins. Some of the scribes and teachers did not speak aloud, but in their hearts they judged his words. To them, this was blasphemy, because only God can forgive sins. Jesus knew what they were thinking. He answered the thoughts they had not spoken. He asked them what was easier, to say that a man's sins are forgiven, or to tell a paralyzed man to rise and walk. His question moved to the center of the matter. Invisible forgiveness could be questioned. Visible healing could not be denied. Then Jesus spoke again, this time with a command everyone could test with their own eyes. He told the paralyzed man to rise, take up his mat, and go home. There was no long ritual, no dramatic display, just the calm authority of Christ, speaking over a helpless man in a crowded room. And the man rose. Strength returned where there had been weakness. The one who had entered carried by others now stood on his own feet before them all. He bent down, took up the very mat that had carried him, and began to walk. The room that had once blocked him now opened before him. What happened next filled the crowd with amazement. Mark says the people were all amazed and glorified God. Luke says they were filled with fear and wonder, saying they had seen extraordinary things that day. Matthew says they marveled and glorified God, who had given such authority among men. However, each account phrases it. The response is the same. The crowd knew they had witnessed something beyond ordinary healing. This miracle is powerful because Jesus did not deal only with what was visible. Everyone could see the man's paralysis, but Jesus first addressed the deeper wound that could not be seen. He spoke forgiveness before he spoke healing. The miracle of the body became a sign pointing to the authority of the Son of Man over the soul as well. The gospel does not tell us that this man's condition was caused by a specific personal sin, and the story should not be read that way. Instead, the scene shows that Jesus sees the whole person. He meets visible suffering with compassion, and he meets the hidden burden of sin with mercy. In him, restoration is not shallow. It reaches deeper than the crowd first expected. The friends in this story also remain unforgettable. They say nothing, yet their actions speak clearly. They carry, they persist, they find a way. In that sense, they become a living picture of what faith looks like when it loves another person enough to bear the weight. This story still speaks with quiet force. Many people know what it is like to face a blocked entrance, a closed way, or a burden too heavy to carry alone. Here, the gospel shows us that no obstacle is final when people keep moving toward Christ in faith. And it shows us that Jesus does not only repair what others can see, he reaches the deepest need first. In the middle of a crowded house in Galilee, a man came down through the roof and walked back out through the door. He entered helpless and left restored. He came on a mat and departed with it in his hands, and over the whole scene stood the authority of Jesus, who forgives sins and heals with a word. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe for more gospel stories.